You like to bake.
Yeah, you see some of my stuff on Facebook, huh?
Yeah, you're like, you've got this mouth-watering images that you just keep putting out there. Do you bake every day?
Every 2 or 3 days.
And and what inspires you? I mean,
I've been baking since high school, but when COVID hit, I really started making a lot more. Like I tried making bread for the first time and making things from scratch without using any boxes. And it just became something that was fun. And I bring it to family and friends so that I don't have to eat all of it.
yeah, no, it looks wonderful. That is my one vice, are baked goods. Fresh, good ingredients. Yeah, can't, I
And
mean,
it's fun. It's very stress relieving.
kneading the dough.
That and I put music on, and then I have that hour where I get me out of stuff, and then I can go back and do one of my jobs.
So what are your jobs? Tell me.
I
'Cause-
have four,
yeah,
roughly.
okay.
I'm a licensed massage therapist, and then I'm a professional patient that has like three separate levels.
Tell me about those, because that's what caught my eye.
Yes. The first basic one I do is when medical colleges need to give a test to doctors or nurses or PAs, I'm the test. So they'll send me a script of what they want me to have and what emotions I should be portraying. And then I have to grade them afterward.
Oh, wow. I've read about those people. So you're one of them.
I'm one of them, yes.
And how did you get involved in this?
I actually spoke to one of my friends I went to college with and told him I wasn't making enough money as a massage therapist to do the extra things I wanted to do in life. And he said, remember when we were at college and we would go to the medical department and they would have studies like, here's a sleep deprivation study or something. We would do it. I went, yeah. He goes, well, I know something that's similar, but not quite that. And once I went to one college, all the colleges find out about you. It's a small group that does it really. And I do about 15 different colleges here.
All in Florida.
Yes.
Okay, so tell me about the three levels.
Okay, the first level is the one that could be for any student. It could be their first year at college or their second. So you have to know where they are because that depends on how you get to grade them. And if they're first years, I get to give them feedback afterward, which is my favorite part. I get to tell them how they performed as a person, how they made me feel, how they regulated their timing, how they spoke, how they sat, and give them little pointers to become better doctors before they're in the field. The second one I do is a specific test that these doctors are taking as the final mock test they can take before they take their state boards. So it goes up a degree in how my performance is and what I can tell them. Because if they fail that, they should not take the state boards for this, Florida, because they have to pass the first time. That's a big deal with doctors. And then the third one I do is I teach how to give a male exam. And that is literally using my body to teach a doctor how to give an exam to your penis and your prostate before they're in the real world giving it to people. They've done it on mannequins, they've taken courses, they've seen the videos, and I'm the last thing to get them prepped for the real world.
Oh man, I want to take this very seriously.
Yes, I have all the information so you could go wherever you wanted to with it.
So, how did you train for this? And, was there different training for each level?
Yeah, I had to have about 3 months training to do the male exam so that I could get all the wording and all the timing and everything right. And it was pretty much having my college buddy teach it to me on him, and then he'd make me reverse and I would teach it. And once I got comfortable and I did it for one college and they find out about you, then that's it. I even have a college I do in Clearwater that I do all by myself. I go over and I do about 30 students and they put me up in a hotel and they pay for my dinner. It's a nice little drive from North Miami Beach coming area over to there. It's really enjoyable because it's literally the opposite of massage. Massage is quiet. I'm in a room in the dark. It's one-on-one. There's not a lot of talking. When I'm at a college, I'm around students and professors and deans. And I have deans who want to sit in on my class while I'm teaching because I usually have about 6 students in the room at the same time. And I know that they're nervous because this might be the first time they're ever doing this. So I really like to put them at ease as soon as they get in the room. So I tell them, now remember, I know why you guys were in school today thinking, oh my God, I got to touch this guy's junk. He's coming to you thinking, oh my God, they're going to touch my junk. And the girls crack up and say, I never thought about that. I go, that's right. I'm going to teach you how to make me feel comfortable. And I can't turn them around right away. And it sets up the whole thing. And then it's an enjoyable, they're laughing, they're getting comfortable doing it. I'm making sure they do it right. So it's a lot of fun.
So in how many years have you been doing this?
I've been doing the teaching for 11 years and I've been doing massage for 30.
So in the 11 years that you've been doing this, have you learned more about being a patient for your own personal? I mean, I assume just, somebody who's, I know you're 60, right? Are you?
Yeah, I'm.
You can't hide that from me, right?
Nope.
I mean, do you feel like you've learned more about yourself that have changed your interactions with your personal doctors?
Yeah, I actually told my doctor that I do this for a living. So she utilizes my skills when I go to the doctor's office and will say, oh, Jim, June, you guys haven't done this a lot yet. Go in and do it with David. He knows what he's doing. And then I'm going. So it became a part of my life with my doctor.
So what are some of the how do you help build empathy into that exchange between a doctor and a patient?
That's really interesting. It's funny because I hate to bring up a stereotype, but the girls tend to be better at empathy spontaneously, and the guys have to be taught it. Because what they do is they come in the room and they would go, hi, so Leslie, is it? Tell me, what brings you here today? And they're supposed to start and have a certain cadence in doing things. But if they ask me a question like, so are your parents alive? And I go, well, my mom's alive. They go, oh, that's good. I go, no, that's bad. That means my father died. You need to be ready for that. The girls catch it inevitably faster. They have that mommy response that comes out, and that's harder to teach to guys than the lists.
Huh.
So really funny. I literally, because afterward when I do the feedback, I say, okay, that was really good. But if you're going to ask about my parents, be ready. Have that empathy in your pocket because there's a good chance at my age, one of them or both of them are gone.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of it being a surprise each time you walk in a room, it doesn't matter what the person has. Their parents are either alive or dead.
Mm-hmm.
The thing. So I try to get them to not have to think about certain parts just automatically come out. I also teach them that they have to set up a safe zone before they ask me any questions that might be under the realm of sexual or habits like smoking or drinking or things that the people might not be inclined to tell you. But if you say, don't worry, this is a safe space, everything you say here is confidential, then you set that up and that's all you have to say. It gives them a little, breathing space.
Mm-hmm. Do you do any kind of continuing ed, or is this pretty much training and a role that is done before somebody passes all their boards and tests?
Well, what we're done is I have to take continuing education units for my massage every other year. So I do get to go to school and keep learning, which is good. But for the school cases, it's much more like a play. We're given a script with all the information, all of us together who are doing it, and go, does anybody have any questions in your case? Cough like, and I'm dying, or is it a simple, there are different kinds of coughs, and we want to portray the case properly. So we'll get the details the day before and rehash it. And, I'll usually write up a little 3x5 card of cheat sheet stuff for myself so that I can hit all the points.
Mm-hmm.
And it's much more like a play than it is continuing education. Mm. And the schools and the teachers tell us how far they want us to take it. If they're first years, we try to be really nice. We don't want to scare them. We want them to be doctors. By the time they're fourth year, some of the teachers will say things like, okay, David, you're in an emergency room. You were just in a car accident. Your pain is a 10. She said, when he examines your foot, I want to hear it on the other side of the room.
So what do you think prepared you to assume this sort of professional patient role?
I don't know. I've always been good at showing people how to do things. And it's a very tiny acting type thing. It's not a huge thing. It's a very small memorization. Everything is within my realm. I don't know if I could do an entire play and stay in the serious mode as long as I have to, because I tend to be a very happy, smiley person. And some of the cases, you're not. And the person will say, David, did you notice the first line says, in the waiting room, you are not smiling, you are grimacing. I said, yeah. So I have to get all that out of my system and get ready. So I can do it for tiny blips, but that's about it.
Wow.
It's fun. It keeps life interesting. It's not like I could never work in an office from 8 to 5, filing things.
Anyhow.
We actually have to tell them if we have anything that's a disease or a body thing, because that might disqualify us from portraying the case they want, because they don't actually ever want people who have the case. They want 8 to 10 people who are going to portray it exactly the same, so that students don't feel that, hey, he was being much nicer. His ankle really was swollen. My guy didn't fake it. So everything has to be, that's why it's a standardized practice.
Interesting. That makes sense.
Sure. And that's why we check on the things like the cough. We all want to know we're doing the cough the same. You don't hear one guy in one room at the end dying, and the patient said, yeah, he didn't sound like he had the cough you guys had. So it can be as small as that the students get very mad if we don't portray them all the same.
Oh. So when you are, when you get a gig, mm-hmm. Is it from the university, or is there an agency that represents you?
There's an agency that helps me with the male teachings because it's so specialized and there's so few of us in Florida that do it, that we do it at almost all the colleges, and there's maybe 10 of us. But for the other ones, the school will send out an email and say, hi, and I can see it's got maybe 10 other people on it. We're looking for 10 males and 10 females. This is the case. These are the days we need you. We'll provide you lunch. We need you from this amount of time to this amount of time. So as a massage therapist, it's great. I get months in advance, if notice. I can set massages up still for that night, knowing I finish at 3 or 4 to school, because they don't tend to run too late. Mm-hmm. I can still do my massages on the weekends because schools tend to be Monday through Friday. So the balance of the two jobs for me works very well.
Cool. Can you tell me some of any interesting anecdotes when you're doing the role of a penis check?
Yeah.
Like anything funny, or were there ever people who were just terrified?
Oh, you can tell when they're terrified, because the very first thing they do is that they have to touch me. And I tell them, okay, here's the thing. The person is very afraid. The first thing you're going to do is touch their penis. So right. You're not. I'm going to teach you how to get them to relax by tricking them. They go, what do you mean? I go, tell me to relax and I'll show you what your patient will do. And they say, could you please relax? And I go, you're right. Everybody gets so nervous. I go, now I'm going to show you how to trick them. You take your hand and you place it on their leg with an audible slap without saying anything. Why? Because if you don't say anything, their brain can't do the wrong thing. And because they think you're going to grab their penis by touching a non-sensitive place on their leg, you have established the beginning of the exam to go much more comfortable with them. And the girls and the guys who might have never touched a penis before get much more relaxed because they were afraid it was the first thing they were going to do, but I made it about me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I always do. And whenever they do something, I go, okay, that's the vas deferens. Do you feel that? They go, yes. I go, no, you don't. Move your left finger a little bit. They go, oh, and I love that. That aha moment that a doctor gets when they have found something small and they get to go, yes, now I know what that feels like because I read up about that. So those are nice moments. On the funny side, sometimes students come to me after being at school all day. And I was doing the exam one time and I could see this tall guy in the back starting to do this.
Oh no.
And I told the person in front of me, you're going to have to let go of me for a minute because I'm going to have to catch your friend. And I caught him as he fainted. We put him into a chair and I went, you're all medical students. What do we do when somebody passes out? Oh, alert somebody. Go alert somebody. Get him juice. Go get him juice. Cookies. Get him cookies. He comes to, I go, hi. You haven't eaten all day, have you? No. You haven't had any water, have you? No. Bad doctor. Here's a cookie. I go, now, fainting is not going to let you get out of touching my penis. You're going to have to sit there and drink your stuff, and you're going to go last, but you're still going to go. He goes, no, I really want to. I go, I know. That's why you were getting excited. You were playing it in your head. You wasn't fear. You were just getting, so it's okay. But yes, that's one of my favorite war stories. So it doesn't matter. I tell girls, you could be 6'3". He was a tall guy and he thought about something for the wrong amount of time and boom, out he went.
Well, it's great to have such a good attitude about it. And, I wonder someday if you'll meet one of these people in.
I have.
Oh, you have?
Since I've been doing it for 11 years, I went to the Aventura Hospital to take my dad in for something, and a guy came running up to me saying, you don't remember me, but you were my first patient. That made me feel so good. Yes, I get moments like that are really, really nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, David. It's so nice to talk with you. Did we ever interact in school?
I don't think so. I know exactly who you are and stuff, but you were in the more, I want to say, school intellectual group that did things as opposed to the partying group that I was hanging out with.